Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Kevin Bridges and Patrick Kielty, and Russell Kane, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture from this week's Lib Dem conference, but what does CDCR stand for?
Is it Clegg's dandruff causes riot?
Is it Clegg demands cardboard rain?
Is it Cameron dies, Clegg rejoices?
Is it Clegg displays currency remaining?
Is it because they're in Liverpool? Is it, in fact, calm down, calm right down?
Is it Celine Dion combusts reaction?
I'm going to go for Clegg, David Cameron's rent boy.
Small amount of skirting around the issue which Kevin has cut through quite dramatically.
Is it Cranberry's definite cystitis remedy?
Why would they use that photograph? Like, I don't understand, how bad was Clegg's cystitis before that?
I don't know, but it must have been pretty bad. I mean...
I've got it, Dara.
Yeah.
Is it conference disco concludes with river dance?
No, what is the correct answer?
Is it Clegg defends coalition rule?
Indeed it does. Well done. Thank you very much. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Clegg defends coalition role. This is the news that the Lib Dem leader Nick Clegg has faced criticism at the Lib Dem conference from party activists who are plagued by self-doubt and anxious about the party's future. But he's defended his role in the coalition and told party members to hold their nerve. How have the Lib Dem party members been reacting?
Oh, they're furious. They've been shaving their beards off and wearing their sandals without their socks, and they've been writing Clegg as a traitor on the wall of the conference centre in their own hummus.
Actually, it's not how the Liberals have reacted, it's how the Conservatives have reacted. They've been watching the television all week thinking why the work-experienced people got their own conference. That's the... It's not actually going terribly well for the Lib Dems, because Clegg's poll ratings now show that he is more popular with the opposition than with his own side, which makes him the Robert Greene of politics.
There's a party activist described him as a mini-me conservative when he went to it. And another party stalwart said, I would trust you with my life, but can I trust you with my party? It's a rather screwed-up sense of priorities, to be honest with you. It's only the Lib Dems at the end of the day, you know?
But apparently it's half their support has gone, hasn't it? And they're all saying it's because they've supported these spending cuts. They're basically talking that they're spending, you know, cutting too quickly and will now go into this double-dip recession. And you're thinking, double dip? You know, that is a term that is only ever used by economists and greedy people with nachos.
If the support are losing, surely that's just people who came to them from Labour anyway, thinking, well, if I vote for them, I'm practically voting for Labour. So it's a very clever, tactical... What? No, wait, no! My master plan! Don't go to the... You're not allowed to... Oh, you are allowed to do that.
What's amazed me is that Nick Clegg seems to be soaking up, even though he's becoming ever more unpopular. How broken do you have to be by your former unpopularity to savour any attention, even if it's negative? That's like a fat, ugly girl being sexually assaulted behind a Lidl and then coming out and going, it's just nice to get the attention.
That is the chair Frankie sat in, isn't it?
It is.
I've literally never had those thoughts before.
You're normally like a whimsical comedian, aren't you?
They were saying that Cameron was actually going to turn up at the conference as a sign of, you know, support. And then they realised that might be a bad idea. You know, Cameron turning up at the Liberal Democrat conference is a bit like Leona Lewis showing up at the Mobos with Nick Griffin. It's not really going to cut it.
I like the idea of lots of Tories sneaking into the convention and going, well, we're in a coalition now, we might as well take some tuck along and have a day out. And then hear him talk about rescuing the poor and start heckling with quail's eggs. Take that, you Liberal. Have a tomato, that sunglass, you wanker. Take that instead.
How are Clegg and Cameron getting along, by the way?
They're getting on tremendously well.
They are.
They're really matey.
They're getting along so well, they have built a baby cupboard from IKEA together. Now, I'm no expert on childcare, but I don't think you should necessarily putting a baby in a cupboard.
You know, I'm not saying I'm a genius myself, but I think it's more for the clothes for the child. Yeah, I don't think the idea is that, like, you would... Oh, God, that's screaming! Like, crying! Get in the cupboard. Get in the cupboard.
Why do you think they went to IKEA? What's the symbolism there? Yellow and blues. And it also goes deeper. It's a cabinet that comes in 2 parts and may well fall apart.
And when they make the closet for William Hague, are they going to IKEA for that?
Craig needs to start undermining Cameron. Next time they're sort of shaking hands on the lawn like that, he needs to go, where's my watch?
How are the government planning to catch middle-class tax avoiders?
With a butterfly net and the van from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
It'll probably work better than the plan they have.
They're planning to catch them using lie detectors. Middle-class people taking lie detector tests. It's like an upmarket version of Jeremy Kyle. And I'd like to see that. Wouldn't you like to see that middle-class Jeremy Kyle? You know, my cleaner ran off to another family. My husband's using the wrong cutlery. You corked my Merlot!
But the idea is that, you know, apparently in Benefit Office, there are certain companies that supply software that when people ring in about their benefits, if their voice wobbles in some way, the software can pick this up and will detect that they're nervous. So now it's just going to create a breed of super accountants with really level voices. I wish to just go like Hawking. I get Hawking doing me accounts. Hawking would be fantastic. His voice doesn't wobble and he's good at numbers. If people go, there's a black hole in Mr. O'Brien's accounts, I invented black holes.
People are hiding money offshore, though, and you've got to really know what you're doing with that, because I fell out of the boat 6 times.
What are people saying about the coalition's public spending cuts? Are people angry with this?
They're not happy, are they? They're not happy. I mean, basically, the coalition said they're going to cut, you know, or cut down on sickness benefits. Cameron said that 900,000 people were on sickness benefits and had been for 10 years. And he said that if we thought we could actually afford that, we were deluded. And I was thinking, well, if we are deluded, does that mean we can claim as well?
George Osborne has announced he's going to cut back on all sorts of things. Quangos, he's cutting back on, although I still don't know what they are. I think there might be a cross between... Could be a cross between corn and a mango. Sort of like orange and tasteless. David Dickinson on a stag night.
My granddad's got a good way of getting around the winter fuel reductions. He's died.
The end of that round, the points go to Patrick, Kevin and Andy. Now we play a round called Mock Me Up Before You Go Go. This game involves Milton, Kevin and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. The first subject is... festivals. Who wants to come in on that? Kevin.
Festivals, nice picture there. That's actually me on your left. So, I was at a Christian rock festival. I never really meant to be there. I was just passing through this Christian rock festival and there was a stall set up that said a free toastie for all of God's children. So I thought, sham on. I said, how's it going, mate? Can I have a toastie? And the guy said, are you a Christian? And I thought, well, if I'm not a Christian, am I not getting a toastie? That's not very Christian. And with this, the guy crumbled and stood back to reveal a chalkboard and he said, OK, you can have cheese or cheese and ham. And I thought, I'll just cheese, mate, because I'm a Jew.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is family. Who wants to come out of that? Russ.
So, it wasn't easy growing up trying to be a little liberal kid in the most right-wing family in the whole of my town. My dad was the most right-wing person I knew, but always quick to point out, I'm not racist, but. That was the danger word. I'm not racist, but... Or the latest remix, which is even more innocuous and dangerous. All I want to do is have a sensible discussion about immigration. Yeah? Isn't it? Well, no one with that face wants a sensible discussion about anything. I just want to have a sensible little chat in the back of that transit van over there, yeah? Me and my brothers, the rest of your family, Mr. Woolham whatever your bloody name is, mate, yeah? Get in the van, right? My dad even managed to be prejudiced about my first car decision. How'd you even achieve that? By British or German. Do not bring Crappanese onto my driveway, boy. Not only that, but I chose a hybrid car. Part electric, part petrol, papa, right? Another question mark hanging over my sexuality. It's the noise of it when it drove off. Thanks for Sunday lunch. Bye, Daddy.
Well done, good mark. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is jobs.
I used to work at a Christian rock festival selling toasties. The best day was when I sold this Jewish bloke some yellow ham. My dad was a dustman. I didn't like him coming to collect us from school, though. Not because I was ashamed he was a dustman, it's just you never knew which day he was going to come. The rest of my family were police marksmen. Apart from my grandfather, he was a bank robber. He died quite recently, surrounded by his family. My uncle, he's a police frogman. No, sorry, he's a French policeman. I used to work in a supermarket. It was my job to hand out samples of things for people to taste. But I was asked to leave after the little cups of bleach incident. After that, I worked in a pathology lab. But I was asked to leave after one of my reports said, cause of death, autopsy.
Point to the end. I'm going to Milton Jones. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Patrick, which category would you like?
Home news.
OK, home news it is. The answer is 500,000. What is the question?
Is it how much money Wayne Rooney thinks a good-looking prostitute costs?
Is it, in cricket, how much do you get for a no ball?
Is it how many ants can safely travel in a lift?
They rarely include that figure.
Yeah.
You know, would it kill them? Would it hurt them to put a small picture of an ant with the number beside?
Is it the number of flies Lady Gaga found in her knickers the morning after she wore the meat dress?
Or alternatively, is it the number of dogs that now follow her every time she leaves?
Is it how many missed calls are on Osama bin Laden's mobile?
Is it the number of times Daniel Craig's mother has been told that when he was born she should have said, I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond?
Instead of the usual 10 green bottles, how many bottles do the Chilean miners start the song with?
Is it how many accessories has Claire actually got?
Is it How much was George Michael charged for 20 Rizzler this week by Big Trev in Ewing?
How many tomatoes died last year as a result of knife crime?
Can anyone give me the correct answer?
I know what it is. It's the number of Russells working in British comedy.
Is it what number most looks like a train pulling a carriage?
No, it's not that.
It is the number of people supposedly who saw the Pope on his travels this week.
It is indeed. Well done, Andy Parsons. Thank you very much. Yes, the question I was looking for was, according to press reports, up to how many people turned out to see Pope Benedict XVI during his 4-day visit to the UK? The Pope's state visit has drawn to a close, with the Vatican and UK commentators proclaiming the trip to have been a wonderful success. Prime Minister David Cameron praised the Pope for raising searching questions and challenging the country to sit up and think. Was the visit a success?
Well, he seemed to be having fun in his Pope-mobile, didn't he?
He did! Why would you deny him that crack?
I'm guessing the Archbishop of Canterbury was a little bit jealous. He hasn't got a Pope-mobile, has he? He's only got a Nissan Micra. You know? When he goes on tour, he's just going to have to stick his head out the sunroof.
He must have had a magnificent time, because he went to Glasgow, Vauxhall and Birmingham. You can't say we're not charming him with our most wonderful scenery.
That is a natural tourist itinerary, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Lovely to see the Pope there doing his impression of Nick Clegg at conference.
He's quite a small guy, isn't he? The Pope.
He is quite, you know, that's the normal chair.
Maybe that's a big chair.
Yeah. To be honest, he does look like a ventriloquist doll that's been left there.
So it was papal this, papal that, but it is a safe and secure way of buying stuff on the internet.
The other atheist guy, he did launch... Now, I thought this was quite... He did launch an attack on atheism and aggressive secularism, the Pope, which is quite interesting because a lot of people, including on this show, do the Nazi joke about the Pope. And then the first time he opened his mouth, he went, "Atheists are like Nazis!" And you go, "Touche, il papa." I call you that very good. I like what you're doing, right?
I was watching it on Sky News, the Susan Boyle gig. I don't mean to refer to the Pope's visit as a Susan Boyle gig, but when she was on, it was Susan Boyle and Michelle McManus, didn't they? The ideal lineup for a celibate man. But there was like 2 rows of empty seats, and the commentator on Sky News said, if you're wondering why these are empty, this is the VIP section, and they'll be empty until the Pope arrives. No, what kind of message is that? And there's a bouncer there going, "Yeah, God loves you all equally, but if your name's not on the list, you're not getting in."
To be honest, that is actually the essence of Catholic faith. That is St. Peter in a nutshell. They should have just dressed them all up with beards and robes and stood them beside, and they made all the gates pearly and just gone, "No, get used to this." No. How did one reverend describe the open-air event in Hyde Park?
I think he said it was like Glastonbury with God.
It did, actually, yeah. Yeah, it is. I know. Well, this is what it looked like, you know.
It was hosted by Carol Vorderman, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know quite why she was there. Maybe she was encouraging the faithful to repackage all of their normal prayers into one more easily manageable prayer.
From one large monthly confession.
The only thing that would have made it better is if they had have actually just day-released George Michael to drive the Pope-mobile, just for one day. Yeah. Just, you know...
Catholic bishops tried to make the church language more user-friendly for staff, because there would have been non-Catholic security staff and functionaries and sound staff and lighting staff who would have used it. So they needed to make their language, to offer a glossary. And we're not making this up. They gave out a pamphlet with the title, "The Papal Visit to the UK, 2010, Some Helpful Terms," where they would explain the terms so that people would say, if it said congregation, that is what you would refer to as the audience. The Mass is a gig.
No.
No, genuinely, sacristy is backstage. and genuinely, and Pope was what you call a headline act. In other news, which pop star has been sent to jail?
George Michael, which has completely showed him, hasn't it? Driving around late at night looking for drugs and man sex, so they they lock him up in a place full of drugs and man sex. It's basically like locking burglars up for 2 months in Curry's.
But it's what he was done for, of course, is driving his Range Rover into a branch of Snappy Snaps in Hampstead, isn't it? It went right in through the window, didn't he?
He did.
I just wondered whether he was trying to recreate Wham, but as a sound effect.
Really, there's a picture of the front of Snappy Snappy. Wham at the point where he smashed. Wham by George. See, I like George Michael. I'm a big fan. I like George Michael's music.
He fell asleep, didn't he? At a traffic lights. How quickly can you fall asleep? You know, oh, it's red, this better hurry up. Oh, red, amber.
Somebody in the court case said, when did the collision occur? And his lawyer went, towards the end of the journey. Was the actual...
It's a shame it's happened this week, because now the Pope has gone home with his album Careless Whisper unsigned.
It's interesting, though. How do you test people? I mean, I know how drink driving works, right? But how do you do dope driving? I mean, drink driving, you blow into a breathalyser. If it goes from green to red, they arrest you. So dope driving, you blow into a breathalyser, and if you go, oh, look at the lovely lights... Is that how that works?
If you inhale on the breathalyser, that's how you know.
Apparently, right, the police wanted to know how long he'd been asleep for. And checking the Guinness Book of Hit Singles, I made it about 12 years. I mean, let's face it, it'll be the first time in years, won't it, if he visits the prison showers, that he's had a surprise entry in the number 2 slot.
I can't support that kind of material on this show. Fast Love is a classic and Freedom 90 as well. All right, so I just, you know...
They were singing as well, wasn't it? They were singing his song, Freedom.
They were singing Freedom when he arrived into
They're
prison.
trying to taunt him and intimidate him by singing his song. I think it'd be quite a beautiful entrance. No, I imagine, like, these hardened criminals the night before up rehearsing the song. OK, Steve, so you say freedom 3 times.
It's not the kind of song. It's not really like a football chant type of song. Freedom, don't you mind freedom? Yeah. It's like the least intimidating song in the world. Like,
We've all fallen asleep at the wheel. I don't know how hamsters do it.
okay. At the end of that round, the point's going to rustle Hugh in no time. OK, now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a news programme.
Behind me, a man lies dead. That's what happens if you pull faces in the background when I'm doing a piece to camera.
This is BBC 3's News in 15 Seconds. Floods, recession, Lib Dems, Wayne Rooney.
Medical news just in. Pioneering X-rays have proven that Nick Clegg has a spine.
Our tape of Big Ben is broken. Bong.
This is Fox News. Ow!
3 Lockerbie bomber Ado Bassett Al Megrahi has died.
Are you there? No, there's no one there. Well, we hope to talk to Michael Jackson later.
Later on, we'll be finding how the Queen arrived in Australia butt first.
Finally, economic news. We're fucked. Good night.
There is still an embargo on revealing the footballer at the centre of this sex case. This is Brian Henderson outside John Terry's house. Sorry.
Protesters set fire to cars and blocked the carriageway for several hours in protest over something or other, bloody French.
City news now. London is dangerous, York is old, and Bristol is a bit weird.
The next topic, please. Unlikely things to hear on a train.
This is the Virgin train service to Edinburgh. If you're not a virgin, would you please get off at Hemel Hempstead?
We would like to apologise for the bumpy ride as we entered the last station. This is due to some selfish bastard throwing himself under the train.
We are now arriving in Sheffield. Could all passengers in first class please pull back your window blinds and take a look at the real world?
We'd like to apologise for the toilet being out of order for the entire journey, as Ricky Hatton is in it.
Due to staff shortages, I am unable to finish this announcement.
Hot food is now available because the buffet car is on fire.
We have now arrived into Birmingham New Street. We are pleased to inform any passengers wishing to change for Wolverhampton that there's a JD Sports opposite the station.
Excuse me, do you have any more of those sandwiches? They're delicious.
I wonder whether I should take my personal belongings with me when I leave this train. If only there was an announcement that could possibly help me.
We apologise for the delay to this service. This was caused by points failure at Make Something Up.
Hello. This is the train speaking. I know we're running a bit late, but don't worry. I know a shortcut.
Could the passenger causing a disturbance in the quiet coach please settle down and stop shouting about your heart medicine?
Would the driver please contact the guard? We have no idea where you are.
This is the driver contacting the guard. Where am I?
At the end of that round, the points go to Patrick, Kevin and Andy. And that is the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Kevin Bridges and Patrick Kielty. Commiserations to Russell Kane, Hugh and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
The Rob Brydon Show, tomorrow night at 10 on BBC Two. James Corden drops by for a chat, and there's music from Mark Ronson.